Today I plan to film a trash to treasure video. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a while that I've filmed one of these. But before I show you the items that I plan to redo, let me explain just a little bit how I went about to get them. Recently, Ephraim and I were to one of the antique malls in Berlin, and we were walking along the porch. I don't know how your antique malls are, but around here people actually have things that they sell on the porches, and it's usually not your top of the line antiques, so the prices are usually pretty good. But I spotted a booth in the far corner that I thought had some potential trash to treasure items in there, and I handed Ephraim my phone and got him to do the filming as I sorted through. I told myself I'm going to find at least 3 items that I can take home with me and redo. So this is what I found. First of all, this little stool. I love the color of it. Gotta say that's what caught my attention. Kind of have a plan for it. And this candle holder or wall sconce, whatever you want to call it, is super dirty right now, but I think if I clean it up and probably paint it, probably won't do too much more than that with it. It's going to look a lot better. And then the third item is this magazine rack. So let's get right into these fun projects and enjoy. I'll start out by cleaning these items, and it's such a beautiful day today. I think I'll work on the front porch. Starting out with this wall sconce, I'm going to go ahead and cover the mirror part with paper and tape so I don't get any paint on it, and then I'll probably just use my usual Rust-Oleum spray paint to paint the wooden part. I wanted to give this piece some sort of character, and I opted to go with this little embellishment. Not even sure where I got it anymore. It came with a pack of some others, and of course I needed something small enough to fit on the top here, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down and then paint it along with the rest of the piece. Since it's kind of breezy today, I'll go ahead and paint underneath this overhang. I know the lighting's not very good here, but what I'm doing is using a paint marker and just doing some very light distressing on this piece. I plan to paint this magazine rack using my air sprayer, and I have a pretty green color I want to make it, and I believe the color is called Bushel, but I want to check that can again and I'll make sure to put that name on the screen for you. but I believe it's a Valspar brand paint color. My goal here is to turn this magazine rack into a possible towel holder or something that you'd use in the bathroom. I have this pretty bathhouse decal that I plan to use on the side. I got MB to cut it out for me. It's ready to apply here. This decal is available on the Etsy shop again. I used to have it in a larger size option, but we ended up taking that one down. But if you are ever interested in another size than what is in our listings, just contact us. We can work something out. Every time I apply a decal like this, I think of people that order decals from the shop and get brand new transfer tape to apply them with. And as you can see, I'm just using my old transfer tape that isn't as sticky anymore here, but it is quite the challenge even with this. But I know the new one is possible too, because I've tried that just to make sure that it works, but it just takes a lot of time. I always advise people to just take your time when you're doing this, just letter by letter, and kind of roll your transfer tape back instead of, pulling up on it. That will enable the letters to, stay better. Even though it takes time, it's definitely worth it. It just looks like it's painted on after you're finished. First, when I saw this chair, I thought, of course I don't have any use for it as far as, setting a child on it. But I think I'm going to take the back off and use it as a plant stand. That was my initial thought, or maybe just a bar stool. Plus some of the spindles were broken off, and that's really hard to fix anyway, so I think it'll make more sense to take that back off. I knew I wanted some sort of a design or wording to be on the seat, and I think I'm going to go with the parchment paper method. I haven't done that recently in a video, and I thought maybe it would interest some of you, but it's a really simple way of getting words, onto a surface if you have an inkjet printer, that is. I use Canva when I design things, and I started playing around with some words, and I thought, why not use Old Orchard Cottages as some of my words for this little stool? By the time I was finished, I thought, could this possibly be a future Old Orchard Cottages logo? Just hadn't got around to creating one so far, and I'll be needing one, so I wonder what you guys think. Would this one work, or is it too busy with too many words? This parchment paper method of transferring lettering is fairly simple. The only thing that can pose a challenge sometimes is just making sure your printer doesn't get jammed up with kind of the extra paper that's going through, because normally I tape my parchment paper onto copy paper. That way it's a little stiffer as it goes through the printer and doesn't jam quite as easily. But honestly, it still can, and it has at times for me, but usually it doesn't. We'll cross our fingers it won't today. Now you want to make sure to have your image in reverse. That way, once it's printed out and applied to your surface, it's the right way. In the past, when I would use this method to transfer letters, I'd always think I just have a certain amount of time to get this ink rubbed off, onto my surface. But I've since learned that's not really true. It seems even after it's dried just a bit, you can still rub it off. The one thing you do want to watch, depending on what surface you place your design on, like your piece of parchment paper with the wet ink, if this stool were, pure white, it would probably leave a mark. So I'd want to try to get my design in the right place in the beginning as I'm laying it down, have it nice and centered somehow, So it's always a good idea, if you're working with a piece like that will show up more, to maybe print out your design on copy paper first and then mark exactly where you want your paper to be placed, maybe using a couple of pieces of tape to get your corner, or just try to get an accurate measurement. That way if you lay it down for that first time onto your surface, you know exactly where it's going. And then to rub it off, there's really no certain tool to use. I often just grab a marker, just anything hard that is easy to grip. You kind of have to rub pretty hard. Sometimes my arms get kind of tired of doing this, but it's worth it in the end. I always like to give my designs like this a protective top coat. In this case, I'm using Rust-Oleum's Chalked Matte Clear. I've always wanted to make some wooden spindle wind chimes, so here's my chance. Going to see what I can do with these from this chair. I have these little metal rings with screws attached to them. Not sure what you call them, but they were included in a picture hanging kit. And I'm going to screw one into each spindle end. And of course it's easier if I drill a small hole first to kind of get it started. I'm going to use fish line to hang these with, and for now I'm just cutting a piece for each spindle. Not sure of the length I'm actually going to need, but I can always, cut it down to size then. So at this point, of course, not sure will these even turn out, but I'm going to give it a shot. This, of course, is the top part of my chimes. Nothing fancy with a big crack in here and everything, but I think it'll look nice and natural. But I plan to space these 7 spindles evenly around the circle. And then this little circle, I didn't get a video of it, but I also painted it. It's wood. And I plan to space that in the middle of the spindles. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and drill my 7 holes that I need for my spindles, and I'll put my hanger on the top here, what I actually plan to use to hang it up with. I do have some more of these little rings like this, and I plan to use 3 of them somewhere on the top here, and then probably fasten them with, or attach a jute cord or macrame or something for my holder. And then I'll probably take it outside and maybe hang it on the porch so I can actually attach my spindles, having it hanging. That way I can see if I'm getting everything, nice and even. It'll be easier that way, I think. So first I fastened these spindles, making numerous knots in my fish line to keep my line from slipping through the hole. I think it would have worked, but I had a feeling if the wind blew a lot or if it got some weather, it's going to fall through. So I feel better to just go ahead and drill 2 holes for each spindle. That way I can kind of thread it through the holes and it'll stay in place better. And this will probably make sense once I'm actually doing it. Let's be honest, these chimes aren't going to be making a lot of music, especially back here in the woods. We don't get just a lot of wind. But the little that they did kind of clack together as I was working on them, I rather like the natural sound of them, but definitely probably more for looks versus sound. I had bought some towels for the cottages, and here I'm folding them and going to stick them in this new towel holder. See how they fit, just in case I decide to use this in one of the cottage bathrooms. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure had a lot of fun making it. Before ending here, I have a few things I want to go over. As you can see, first of all, this stool here, I debated. I still have this wooden piece, the one that was the top part of the back, and I really debated to put it on the seat here, you know, fasten it from the bottom. It would be really easy, and I'll get a close-up here of how this looks, but I think it would kind of finish it off, and it kind of bothered me, these circles that you see from where the spindles used to be. I could cover those up pretty much. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Should I leave it off or put it on? And the second thing I wanted to mention here is in front of me, these pretty teacup candles. I have some again on the Etsy shop, so make sure to check those out. And most of them have fresh coffee or peach nectar poured into them. Smells amazing from here. And these generally don't last long, so make sure to check those out. And being that we have a lot of the clear cups, we'll probably just put them all as one option, like a clear cup. And it might vary on the design that you get, but if you do see one in a picture that you really like, you can always request it. We can try to send that one if it's still available. I also wanted to remind you, or in case you missed the video where I talk about my soap being sold locally here, in case you're ever in the area, or if you're local and you want to try out the soap and you don't want to order it from Etsy and pay all that shipping, make sure to visit ADDIE'S. That's a store here in Holmes County, Ohio. And in that store, there's a little shelf as you walk inside. You can't really miss it. A White Cottage Company shelf with some homemade soap. And that way you can actually smell it before you buy it. And they, of course, have other nice and unique items in there in case you want to shop for something else. But make sure to check out ADDIE'S if you're in the area. And down below in my description box is the address. I hope this video inspired you to think twice before discarding items that may not look the nicest anymore. They may still have some life left to them if they just have a fresh coat of paint or just add a little bit of character to them. It's amazing what just a little bit can do. My voice is sounding just a bit better today. I think I had been dealing with a head cold, so sorry you had to listen to my stuffy voice. As always, I hope your day is going great. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.